extension officers, that is why such messes do occur. With these few remarks, I support and we want this bill to be passed as quickly as possible and implemented to the latter. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Mwa for Nambale, then Umulanya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to speak on this bill. Mr. Speaker, this is one bill that, as members of this House, we need to expedite its legislation so that we can enact it into law. Mr. Speaker, as it has been said, agriculture is the backbone of our economy. And if we improve agriculture, definitely we're improving our economy. Mr. Speaker, for a very long time, farmers in this nation have been left on their own. The government has tried even to subsidize fertilizer, but the question that you ask yourself, as we subsidize and supply this fertilizer, do we have enough officers trained to go and advise the farmers from various areas the best fertilizer applicable to their farms? The answer is no. Because there's no legislation and policy. And Mr. Speaker, on that, I'm exactly thrilled to have a bill that seeks to introduce an agricultural and livestock service policy, which is very key, so that our farmers can have a fallback in terms of seeking advice, whether on crops or livestock. Mr. Speaker, although agriculture is a devolved function, there is great need for the two levels of government to coordinate so that we support the farmers. Because when we leave it to the county governments alone, they may not effectively carry out the services that are required so that our farmers can be properly served. And Mr. Speaker, I'm reading at section 3. The bill seeks to foster coordination and collaboration in extension services, research by national government, county government, non-government organization, learning institution, research bodies, and other non-state actors. And Mr. Speaker, this is where you find that because of the vacuum that has been existing, you find that there are so many non-government organizations that have been occupying it, supplying various crops for and encouraging farmers to plant them without any proper research, providing dairy cattle to farmers. But once a dairy farmer has been given a dairy cattle, there is no veterinary service that this particular farmer will resort to. So you find that most farmers have been resorting to even getting quacks to come and treat their animals, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, you look at section 4 that establishes the National Extension Services Policy. It's very extensive and far-reaching in terms of capacity development of these particular services. You know, we know that, Mr. Speaker, there are emerging issues in every sector. And even agriculture, we have had crops that you find that farmers are complaining that this particular year, crops have failed. Not because we did not have sufficient rain or they did not apply enough fertilizer, but because maybe there was no research, soil sampling done in their farms to advise farmers on which particular seeds they are supposed to plant in that particular region. So there is no guidance to our farmers. They have been left on their own so that they have just been, every farmer come planting season, you find a farmer just approaches an agrovet, buys the seeds, proceed to the farm without proper advice, knowing what he's supposed to plant. And Mr. Speaker, you know that even in these careers that we have, you realize that this continuous career development, even in these agricultural services, we need to have these agricultural extension services providers that are employed. We have a periodic career advancement so that they research on the emerging issues, the new diseases that can affect the crops, the new diseases that are affecting the animals. So that if we have the way under section 4 to provide that after every 5 years, the government and the county governments are going to look at the agriculture and livestock policy and reevaluate emerging issues, and what is supposed to be done to the farmers. So, Mr. Speaker, in my own analysis, this is a very, very important bill. It's very late for us that it has come very late. So, of course, you consider from the late 80s and early 90s, the government was properly advising farmers on what's supposed to be done, emerging issues, and also crops to be planted in various regions. Right now, we have a clarion call for farmers in Western to plant coffee. But the question is, after we supply them with seedlings, who will advise farmers on the next step so that they can care for this particular crop and get a benefit out of it? So, Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I fully support this bill and encourage my colleagues so that we expedite this particular motion so that we enact it into law. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well said. Member for Kisumu East.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, when I was young, and that was some time ago, I'm now 71 years old, there were agricultural extension officers. As much as I understand the basis of this bill, I do not understand why we need to reinvent the wheel. They were there. This bill is just coming up with another board with all their expenses and other things to come up and put together a health policy, agricultural policy statement. And if you look at the membership of that board, we have the chairman who's appointed by the CS, principal secretary, etc., etc., etc. And I don't know why this board needs to be there, why, and it cannot be a department of the Ministry of Agriculture, and it should be the job of the Ministry of Agriculture to put forward a policy document like the Ministry of Health does. I have been involved with the Ministry of Health, and we have done the policy, our draft document strategy papers for the 5 years. I don't see why this should be done. I wonder why, what was the logic from the Senate to go through this and to reinvent the wheel. Mr. Chair, Buona Speaker, sir, agriculture is a pillar of the county, of the country. And we must, if we don't have that, and we do not develop that, we're like a three-legged stool. One of them is not working. Now, I've been, and as my brother mentioned earlier, Mishmiwa from Wajir, Adan, even in Saudi Arabia, in the middle of the deserts, they have started doing this. Now, I'm getting concerned why we want to now get something with the national government, with the county government, to marry them together. The UHC, the health, is a classic example of the way this thing went wrong. Why do you want to do it again? I see no reason for this. We were in one of our seeds, Mr. Speaker, sir, were one of the best in Africa. We had the best agriculture research on seeds. Now we have misused that. We had the Kenya Seed Company and others, and they've now most of these guys, there's one called Western Seed, I know them very well, and they're now going to Zambia and developing seed there. We had the capacity under the colonial times and even under the first 20 years or 30 years. We had the capacity to develop the best maize seed in Africa. And we are going now to other places. Now we want a research. For research of what? We have no need to research. We know where we are going. We don't need these so-called white-collar workers coming in with their research. They need to sit down, roll their collars, roll their sleeves up, and come up with a policy. Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm sorry I call you chair. I'm very sorry, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is not what we want. Not another board. As much as I would like to support some of the thoughts that have been given, I actually oppose this whole proposal. Mr. Speaker, sir, livestock also covers fish. And that has been a big problem. Now we are spending so much money. I remember some time ago we spent how many billion counting the fish in the Indian Ocean. Nothing happened of that. Now we are going to open up piers here and there, and we have not seen how we're developing the fish industry in the Lake Victoria as one of the most polluted lakes. So we have a problem. How is this extension services bill going to help us? Namthoi, where I represent Kisumu East, is one of the bread baskets, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I think you know, used to be. But it has been shot down. The extension workers are not able to, don't go there. The county government has no interest in these things, or they have no money. Previously, under the when I was in Kisumu, sir, even as the mayor, next to the DC's office was the county extension workers. And they used to go along, and I remember that we did some dairy cattle promotion in Kajulu, and they were very much working with us. The problem that we have, Mr. Speaker, sir, is the fact that we are always keen to come up with a board, always keen to come up with a committee, always keen to do something else, but not keen to do this. Now, this is the duty and responsibility, Mr. Speaker, of the Ministry of Agriculture solely and fully. Now, we had our president was previously the Minister of Agriculture, and I think he did a good job when he was there. And I think this is a very important issue that we need to work on. Then, Mr. Speaker, another issue that comes to my mind is the issue of irrigation. Mr. Speaker, sir, this country is saddled with a pre-colonial agreement on the Nile Treaty. As much as we want, and we have when in Kisumu, in my constituency, in my county, we get flooded. And then we come into a drought period. And when we want to start saving our water, and we are told the Nile Treaty does not allow us to dam water. The issue is something that we need to deal with, and when we talk about it, we are told, oh, no, this is the national issue. Now, we have also got a number of farmers, Mr. Speaker, sir, who went ahead and got greenhouses. And if you go in my constituency, sir, it's a shame to see some of those greenhouses are rotting. And because the farmer does not understand anymore what's happening. There was a company here, I used to go there, they were the extension workers, but they wanted to be paid. And of course, it did not work. Mr. Speaker, sir, Kisumu, we had peanuts, we had rice, we have cotton, we have sugar. Surely, we are one of the best rice and cotton in the country. Now, what extension workers do we need? The extension workers we need are the ones who are there, and they need to be reappointed. So I would suggest that this bill, which I do not support, should only refer to the issue of national government. I, Mr. Speaker, was part and parcel of the CKRC, the Constitution of Kenya Review Committee. We made a mistake. On health, we made a mistake on agriculture. We should not have given it to the government, totally to the county governments in that manner. Even right now, as I speak, we have problems with the UHC. When we are now talking about combining the national government with the county government, look at what happened to the USC. The universal healthcare workers who were here yesterday and have been coming every day. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have industrial parks. There's one not far away from you, sir, in Siaya. 700 or 800 million shillings has been, or nearly a billion shillings is there, and the thing is in the middle of nowhere, doing nothing. I don't know whether it's finished or not. Even if you can go and use that area to farm, use that area to, we don't need to research some of these things that we know. How can you research something that you know so well about? And I think that's where we are going wrong. And Mr. Speaker, as I now close, I'm nearly to close. Mr. Speaker, sir, I oppose this whole thing. You know, in the paddy rice in Kenya, in Kisumu, sir, the paddy rice is being taken by Ugandans. They're coming to Kisumu and taking our paddy rice. I thank you very much, sir. And Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity of speaking. I oppose, strongly oppose.
Thank you. Member for Keyo North.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this motion because, Mr. Speaker, as a country, we are very loud and very confident that agriculture is a backbone of our economy. But, Mr. Speaker, there are so many things that is taking us as a country, that is making us as a country to lag behind, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, lack of a vibrant extension officers has made our country, has made our farmers to end up getting or harvesting low producers of low quality animals that cannot meet the standards, that is not even attractive to the market, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, quality farm produce and also rearing of good animals can only be achieved by our farmers through having a continuous trainings. And having a vibrant or active extension officers can make our farmers adopt modern technologies that in the long run will help our country to be food sustainable and also in terms of foreign exchange. Mr. Speaker, we have so many programs that is being undertaken by government. Many a times, government is distributing seedlings, avocado, coffee, but the transaction ends there. The ministry or the government only intends to supply seedlings. Then after that, there's no one who is making follow-up because we don't have extension officers that will make a follow-up to ensure that farmers are planting these seeds in the right procedure, following all instructions that in turn it will give value for money. Number two, Mr. Speaker, is the semen. We are saying that we want to improve breeds of our animals. But who is this? Where is this expert that will educate our farmer to ensure that at least all the necessary steps is being followed so that in the long run, all the semens that is being distributed by county government is in the long run achieving the intended purpose. Mr. Speaker, the government of Kenya, the Kenya Kwanza government, started a very noble thing of distributing subsidized fertilizer. But it is also high time to review whether the fertilizers that are being given to farmers are really yielding the results that we intend to get. Because we are putting in a lot of efforts in making sure that we inject farm inputs, but we have not sat down and see whether we are achieving what we want as a country. Government is building industrial parks. Where are those subsidies? Where are those producers that will be used to store the produce that the farmers are supplying? So, Mr. Speaker, this issue of having extension officers to the grassroots level is very noble, and I am sure that it will help our farmers and as a country to achieve our goal of making sure that our country is food secure and also having food so that our Kenyans cannot be facing, our public will not be facing starvations. Mr. Speaker, we must also see and focus on how, because all of us know that agriculture is a devolved function, but we have so many gaps in between here because county government seems not to care a lot about what is going on after distributing seedlings and all manner of things. So I think it's high time also for the Ministry of Agriculture to have a direct link with our agricultural staff at the county level so that our farmers can get with all the necessary support and trainings which will help them achieve the goals in the agricultural sector. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I want to support and say that this is timely because as a country we have all the necessary infrastructures, the industrial parks, airports. Like in Eldoret, we have a big international airport, but where the produce that needs to be supplied to international markets, very few or even not available. So this focus will help us as a country to achieve the agricultural goals. With all many remarks, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this time. Thank you. I support.
Well said. Member for Nyamira.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity so that I can also talk on the Agricultural and Livestock Extension Service Bill. Honorable Speaker, this is a very progressive bill which is before us as Parliament, because we as Kenyans, we understand that agriculture in our country is the backbone of our economy. And Mr. Speaker, when we talk about the backbone, when it is stable, when it is healthy, it makes the body to have its movement to wherever that the body may want to move to. Honorable Speaker, agriculture as the backbone of our country, if well taken care of, will make the economy of our country to prosper and will make the Kenyan citizens to have the best life that they may want to have, because the population will be fed and the population will be healthy from the agricultural products that we get from our farms. And for us to get the best agricultural products from our farms, we seriously need extension officers who go out and train our farmers on the type of crops which are needed in various types of soils, on the types of agricultural animals which can be reared or which can be reared in certain climates. And as we understand, we have climate change, which is quite different from that which we had from the early 80s and the early 90s. And because there is change in climate, we also need to change our tactic by having extension officers who are well trained, who can be able to know the type of climate and what is needed where. Honorable Speaker, this bill is talking about the county government and the national government. This time around, we do not want to have any gap, because we know agriculture is devolved, it is in counties, and if we give part of the work to the national government and part to the county government, then actually finally we are not going to succeed. So I want to urge the member who has brought this bill to make sure that there is no gap, that as we get the agricultural extension officers and as the agriculture is devolved, that there is enough money, there is enough resources which are given to counties so that the agriculture sector within our counties is well catered for, so that our farmers are able to access, if it is fertilizer, if it is the type of animals which maybe we may want to be reared in certain counties, they are able to be accessed by giving enough resources to the counties, which can also be extended to the farmers. And once they have been given, then we shall need the extension officers to be giving the new technology which has come up on how each animal or on how each agricultural product which we have is supposed to be taken care of in our farms. So I want to support this bill, and I know once it goes through, our counties are going to get the resources which will make sure that enough is going to farmers, and the farmers are going to get enough food for our country, because a nation which is fed well will prosper and it will make the economy to grow. So, Mr. Speaker, I support.
Thank you. Honourable members, before I give the next member to contribute, join me in welcoming students from Waithaka Boys, from Kiharu constituency, Murang'a County, and students from St. Joseph Matiku, Kibwezi West constituency, Makueni County. They are welcome to follow our proceeding this afternoon and to learn from what goes on in Parliament. The next speaker here would be the member for Embakasi South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute towards this very, very important bill. The Senate bill on Agriculture and Livestock Extension Services and Officers Bill 2022. I might start by saying that the bill is long overdue, having been received last year, 2024, here. It's long overdue, and now that it's here, we must make sure that we pass it. So I stand to support the Senate bill on extension service. Actually, looking back a few years ago, the country used to have extension officers who were able to support the farmers so as to be able